Welcome to the Wealth Movement Podcast. This is more than just a podcast. It's a thriving community inspired by stories of individuals, families, entrepreneurs, and professional advisors, all coming together with one purpose: to help you enhance and reveal your true wealth. My mission with the Wealth Movement is to provide you with education and experiences on money, wealth, and well-being to help you move towards achieving your goals and dreams of living a fulfilling life. See, wealth is much more than money, property, or assets. As Henry David Thoreau once said, wealth is the ability to truly experience life. I believe that money is transactional, whereas wealth is transformational. The Wealth Movement aims to evoke certain attitudes and emotions by helping you ask curious questions to find better answers that will help you transform your life, that ultimately will align your wealth with your purpose. Thank you for being a part of this community, and I hope you find valuable information that you can apply in your own journey. If you have any questions or need any guidance, my team and I at Evoke Wealth Management are here to help. Thank you for being a loyal listener and enjoy this episode of the Wealth Movement. Now, this week on the Wealth Movement, we have a truly inspiring episode that will enhance what wealth and riches mean in our lives. Before we dive into today's conversation, I'd like to ask one small favor. If you find our episode uplifting and meaningful, please hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends and family, and leave us a review. Your support helps us continue to bring incredible stories like these right to your ears and eyes. Today, we're honored to have Shaya Frum join us today. Shaya is a beacon of hope, of resilience, representing the Jessie Rees Foundation, Negu. The foundation spreads joy and encouragement to children fighting cancer and their families through heartwarming initiatives of Joy Jars. Explore the remarkable journey of the Jessie Rees Foundation from humble beginnings in a garage to making monumental impacts globally. Learn why this incredible foundation was inspired by Jessie's own battle with cancer and her selflessness, desire to spread joy, hope, and love to other children facing similar struggles. Shaya and I will delve into the concept of wealth as much more than just being financial gain, but as richer, fuller experiences of life, especially for children and families enduring childhood cancer. Learn about the House of Hope in La Quinta, support programs for entire families, and how the foundation's motto, never ever give up, becomes a lifeline for so many. We'll explore how you can get involved with us to help kids fighting cancer, so stay tuned. Get ready to be moved, inspired, and witness one of the true essences of wealth in its most beautiful form. Thank you for joining us today. Here's my interview with Shaya from the Jessie Rees Foundation.
If you start thinking about that, I feel like it changes the way you go about your day and the way you live your life too, if you're kind of focused on the impact and the good that you can do.
All right. Shaya,
Yes.
thank you so much for joining me here on the
Of
Wealth
course.
Movement. I'm really excited to be chatting with you.
Yeah.
You know, your organization that you represent is something that I really look at as true definition of, you know, in my world of wealth. You know, I came across this quote recently, and it was from Henry David Thoreau, and he said that wealth is the ability to truly experience life.
Oh.
And I think most people think of wealth as money,
Yeah.
which to some sense, yes. But what you guys do over at Negu is giving hope to children who have cancer, who are fighting cancer.
Yeah.
So it's important for me to, you know, help spread the message of what you guys are doing, because I think what you guys are doing is giving wealth to those children in the form of being able to experience life as they're fighting.
Yeah.
So I would love for you to share, why Negu exists, what you
Yeah.
do there, and yes, please.
Absolutely. I'm like taken aback by that quote. I really like that. That's a very unique perspective to take on the idea of wealth, and it really does hit close to, I think, what we are trying to do at the Jessie Rees Foundation. And Negu was birthed out of the brain of my little sister Jessie. And so Jessie being diagnosed with a brain tumor, back in 2011, she wanted to do something, though, to give back. So because her cancer diagnosis was terminal, which she didn't know, myself and my younger brother didn't know, but I almost feel like, knew that in a way she wanted to make a lasting impact no matter what the outcome was going to be. And so one day, leaving Children's Hospital of Orange County, she asked my parents, "Hey, Mom, Dad, when do all the other kids get to come home?" And they told her, fortunately, some kids, it's days, weeks, months. And she asked a very simple question. She said, "Well, how can we help them?" And I don't think I would have ever asked that question. I know my parents weren't asking that question.
Right.
And so that literally, something just sparked in her, seeing the other kids at Chalk, because it's a children's hospital and all you see are kids there.
Yeah.
And being somebody who was able to go in, since she was on a clinical trial, she went there for certain things and then got to come home being outpatient. And you can almost forget about the hospital by the time you leave there. You can kind of like close the doors and like try to live as much of a normal life as possible. But obviously, when you're in the hospital, you can't.
Yeah.
And so her collecting her toys and writing on brown paper lunch bags and just wanting to give back in a small way, it really changed her life, and it changed our life to be able to give to others even when you feel like you are at your lowest and maybe you feel like others should be giving to you.
Yeah.
Turning around and being a positive presence in someone else's life and providing, as we like to say, hope, joy, and love to a child fighting cancer, it changes their life, but it also really changes yours, and it impacts your life to be able to provide almost like love and joy in a generous way, and not feel like you're going to use all that you have, just it kind of keeps filling your bucket up.
Yeah.
So her joy jars have continued to do that and have continued to spread hope, joy, and love to children fighting cancer, and have inspired so many to never, ever give up. And so that's why we get to continue on her legacy and why we have the honor of continuing to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know her story, right? And I was actually telling it to another colleague yesterday, to her, and I've never had, the privilege of meeting Jessie, but I feel like through what you guys are doing, her purpose was to spread, hope and joy, and somehow impacted me, in many different ways to want to be able to do that as well too, and just the beauty of what she did. I think the selflessness of how she was so infectious and is so infectious, and what you guys do.
Yeah.
So I knew when I first heard about, what you guys do, I had to be involved. And just hearing her story even more, just elevated that desire.
Yeah.
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 So can you share with us a little bit of how you guys bring joy to kids who are fighting childhood cancer?
Yeah. So, I mean, as I kind of mentioned, it all starts with a joy jar.
Yeah.
Joy jars are the center, the core of everything we do. They're an easy little way for us to spread Jessie's legacy and reach a lot of people. We send our joy jars to children's hospitals, Ronald McDonald houses, oncology camps, and to children's homes. And so inside the joy jars that go to a children's hospital, we have information about our Club Negu program, which is where we get to walk alongside a family beyond the joy jar. Because our biggest thought and feeling is that if you were to truly take never ever give up, that's not one moment in time. If you want to really never ever give up in something and have that strong mindset, especially when you're going through something like cancer, that's multiple appointments, multiple treatments, that's months or years, you never know. And so that we don't want to just be there for one instance in a family's life. We want to be there to walk alongside them. And my family's been in those shoes, and we've been through so many different appointments and the ups and downs you feel, and waiting for scan results and different things. And so we want to be there with a family during their hardest time, because not everyone understands it. And if we can do something to help them feel like they're not alone in it, we feel like we've succeeded. And so that Club Negu program just provides continuous and ongoing support to a family. Can look like a bunch of different cool packages, different types of joy jars. We do like a family joy jar with fun games for the family. The super sibs will get something because my brother and I felt the effects of Jessie going through cancer. And when we were young as a kid, you kind of don't understand, well, why is she getting all the attention? Like, I know that she's going through something, but at the same time, I also am here. I want to be seen and a part of the family too. And so we want to make sure the whole family unit feels encouraged. And so we're really proud of that program and of getting to walk alongside so many families and being brought into their encouragement team, because it also takes them trusting us and welcoming us in during such a scary time in their life. So it's special to be able to try to develop and come up with more ways to just give and be a presence and see what we can do, no matter what a family's going through.
Yeah, I mean, that was, you guys just had the gala, the annual gala, and that was definitely apparent, the families that were there. I remember hearing the story of the young boy that was continuously, going through different treatments, thinking it was done, and then finding out again that it came back, and then multiple times. I mean, obviously, I've never been in that situation to go through that, but you said it earlier, helping them with joy and the mindset of being able to go through that, as difficult as it may be. I mean, having that support team is, I think that's the beautiful thing of what you guys do, is surrounding them with just a team of hope. And those jars, I've had the honor of stuffing many jars, and they're a lot of fun.
Yes, they are. They are packed to the brim, full. Jess said she couldn't have cheesy toys. So she wanted to make sure all the toys were the coolest toys for different age groups. So, every kid likes something different too. So that's why we've got our 5 different age groups. They're like Tetris puzzles to kind of put together and strategically figure out, all right, I'm going to move the beanie over so I can slide one more thing in, or, It's very intentional too. I remember the first time stuffing it, is everything had to face outward. So I love that. There's even just intention and how the jars get stuffed. We're all a little, very particular with them. We want to make sure they look good, and that we also, it's kind of about slowing the person that's stuffing it down too, and really thinking through, the way you put things in may seem silly. You're well, why can't I show any barcodes? Well, because we want them to see all the fun things in it, and not just all the tags or all the different things that we have to include, because we want them to know their new toys and things like that. But when you start thinking and being a little bit more intentional, I feel like it makes it just, the whole process kind of sinks in a little bit more with what you're doing. And I think that's important. And it's not just do it, get on, there's a purpose behind it. We want the person stuffing the jar to realize that they are making an impact, and in the way that you put things in, you are creating a smile, and those take the time to make that smile and that reaction really great.
Are you ready to join the wealth movement and make a meaningful impact on society? They say money can't buy happiness, but studies have shown that when we spend our money on giving back and helping others, it actually evokes emotions of happiness inside of us. That is why I'm thrilled to announce our Giving Back campaign. Inspired by our show guest, Shaya, and the incredible people at the Jessie Rees Foundation, we are launching a special initiative to support their mission of spreading joy and hope to children fighting cancer. See, for every donation you make to the Jessie Rees Foundation, my team and I at Evoke Wealth Management will match up to a total of $1,000. Your contribution, no matter the size, will have a significant impact. See, you can donate as little as $25, enough to sponsor a joy jar filled with toys and goodies for a brave child in need of cheer. See, this isn't about money. It's about giving hope, love, and joy. Your generosity will help kids in hospitals, Ronald McDonald's houses, oncology camps, and children's homes all across the globe. Now, to be a part of this giving movement, it's simple. All you need to do is text NEGU 140 to 71777. Again, simply send a text message to 71777 with NEGU 140 in the message. Join us in making a difference and help brighten a child's day in their fight against cancer. With your support, we can ensure that more families never ever give up. Thank you so much. And now back to the show. Yeah. Well, and speaking of jars, you guys just hit a huge milestone.
Yeah. We 500,000 joy jars.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's huge.
It's massive. I don't think it's even really sunk in like how that's a lot of joy. It's a lot of it's amazing. It makes me a little speechless because it's also, and I was telling some people, it's not us. Like, yes, 500,000 joy jars from the Jessie Rees Foundation because of Jessie's legacy. She was able to stuff 3,000 before she passed away. And we've been able to now send so many more just because her legacy's grown. But it's not just us. That's the collective effort and heart and generosity of what we call Negu Nation. Like, it's the collective group of so many people that have made that possible, because I don't stuff all those jars.
Right,
we have amazing people who come in and help us stuff those jars. And it takes people and companies donating and supporting, or all the different schools that do toy drives to give us toys so we can put, like, it's everybody together helping us reach that milestone. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about being in nonprofit is, like, it's everybody together. It's not, it might be the joy jars, our brand, like, but it's not us making that impact. It's all the people that have come alongside making that impact to make sure that those 500,000 children feel like they've been encouraged to never ever give up.
I think it's beautiful. And I also think it's just, when you think about the number, it's also the awareness of, how many kids out there are also fighting, childhood cancer. I think that was, for me, the biggest thing is, we hear cancer just sucks. And we hear mostly adults, suffering from cancer, and, children suffering cancer is obviously just a little bit different. Not potentially having the opportunity to live a long, many years of life. It's just a little bit different story. So.
No, absolutely. It's crazy. I think it's amazing to look at 500,000 jars, but in the grand scheme of things, in the world globally, 400,000 children are diagnosed every year with cancer.
Wow.
Globally. So obviously the United States takes up a portion of that, and our biggest reach right now is the United States. We do send joy jars internationally, but hopefully we can grow that even farther over the next decade. And then in the US, 46 children every single day are diagnosed. So that number just keeps growing, which is why we're going to keep sending out more jars.
Right.
Like we've hit 500,000, but you can't just like, we're going to celebrate and do everything we can to, but we have to keep going because there's so many more kids to reach, which it truly is just the craziest thing to know that there's that many kids out there that are fighting and walking through this and can use the support and the encouragement. So
yeah, I think for me, hearing your father speak, and I've heard him say it a couple times, but his hope is that you guys are put out of business.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's just, you know.
Yeah. We would love to be able to close the doors of the Jessie Rees Foundation one day, because there is a cure for childhood cancer, and there's many forms of childhood cancer. So it's a lot of cures that we need, but we will do everything we can until that day comes, because we're going to have hope that that day will come one day. But until then, what we can do is care for kids. And we like to say we don't cure cancer, we cure bad days caused by cancer. And so that side of it, we feel like is just as important as the research side and the cure side, because you really do need both together to support a family.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think just like you said, you know, with the mindset of it, you know, going through everything, all the different treatments and everything. Obviously, you and your family went through that with Jessie. It takes a toll. Yeah. And a lot of that beyond physically is also a lot of mental, not just on the child, but the family. Yeah. And so that's why I love what you guys do, because you don't just give the child joy that's, you know, going through cancer, but the entire family support system. I think you guys recently have something where different families can go to a house that you guys do, right?
Yeah, we have we call it the House of Hope in La Quinta, and it's a space where we get to just send families on like a free trip, vacation, whatever you want to call it. We like to say you get a breakaway from treatment and kind of just forget about what is going on in your daily life, hopefully. There are so many stipulations and regulations a lot of the time while you're going through cancer on, you can't do this, you can't do that, you have to watch this, you have to watch that, you're isolated, you have to do X, Y, and Z thing. And so it can feel almost impossible to take time as a family and do something fun. And oftentimes that's kind of what you need most, is that family time to be able to just be together and take some of the stress off of everything else. And so the goal is just that a family gets to make memories together. So they get to go, no fees or anything for the family, just hopefully go and have, whether they want a weekend or a week or whatever they want, we're there to hopefully help them with that space. And our goal was just to help it feel like home, help them feel welcomed and invited. And I think two of my favorite things, there's a craft room in the House of Hope.
Oh, nice.
And kids just love this craft room, and we get so many photos back of kids making crafts. And there's this like bulletin wall almost, and kids will leave a note for the next family to encourage them coming and help them feel like there are other families even cheering them on. And then the same with our like welcome book or guest book kind of thing that we created. They can like take a Polaroid photo, put it in there, and write a note. And a lot of the notes are almost sharing encouraging stories to help the other families that might read the fun time that they had and that they hope another family has there. And it's really special to just see this community of support and encouragement that gets built through it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure just kind of where you guys started to where it is now. I mean, could you ever imagine like it being...
No, could never. I mean, it started in our garage. The Joy Factory was the garage. And now it's a massive building in Irvine. So I literally cannot even, it's wild.
Yeah. Well, and you said earlier you impact a lot of children also who are impacted globally. How many countries have you guys,
I think we're at 53 now.
Wow.
So all 50 states and then 53 other countries. And it's really special to be able to see a joy jar in another country is like wild.
Yeah.
But because childhood cancer doesn't know where you live. So
Yeah.
we want to make sure that we can do our part to encourage everybody if we can reach them. And so that's definitely a big piece we've still got to build out with translations, international relationships, and shipping things internationally. But
Yeah.
we'll get there. And so it's cool to also see areas of where we can keep growing and expanding, and know that there's a lot of opportunity, almost in a way, to keep spreading joy. So
Yeah. No, definitely. Again, I see you guys expanding and growing, and definitely, want to hope to see that even just spread.
Yeah.
You guys are just doing so much good.
Thank you.
Really just giving a hope to a lot of people, not just kids, honestly, fighting childhood cancer, but for me, in the world that I live in, as far as wealth, I've noticed that our generation, the younger generation, want to make an impact in a lot of the decisions and the things that we do. I don't know if do you see that kind of as well, as far as people wanting to get involved in the Jessie Rees Foundation, like a lot of younger folks?
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely growing.
Yeah.
And it's really special to see people reach out and want to get involved however they can. I think will get involved maybe with a company, and you're maybe initially talking to someone higher up, someone that's a little bit more seasoned, has been in that company, is leading the company, and then you get to go do an event with that company. And maybe they get a stuffed jars together, or they get invited to attend one of our events, and then they are bringing people that their hearts are then stirred, and they are on the younger side, and maybe they are starting a family and have young kids and can't fathom what it would be like, or they're just feeling like they can make a difference. They have time and they want to give back, and in their schedule, they want to volunteer, they want to help at an event, or just there's a lot of different ways. And I feel like it's cool to see people also just get creative. Like maybe they can't financially give right now, but they're going to give of their time and their energy. And so that's just as important and valuable too. I think that sometimes people feel like, well, if I can't give money, then why, like what, what is there to do? Or, and I think that there's so many ways that you can support different groups and causes. It's not just financially, And so, yes, financially makes a massive impact, but so does your time, or so does being a voice and an advocate for that cause. So, and then you can start one place and grow into another. And so, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love that, actually, just how you said it right there. Because, a lot of people, to your point, think, oh, I have to have money to be able to help or donate. But it's definitely not the case. Like you said, I mean, the Joy Factory, people get to go to the Joy Factory and kind of see what that process looks like. And with the service of being able to stuff jars, not necessarily donating money, but I think just that little spark could change a lot of things, and just kind of the way people plan and save and say, you know what, I want to give back in the future. Maybe I'll budget a portion of my income to be able to do that.
Totally.
So that's just some of the things that, we try to, at my company, try to instill, as far as what is your legacy beyond just money?
Absolutely.
You know?
What is the impact you want to make in other people's lives? And I think that's something that I've realized even watching my sister. Like, her life ended at 12, but her legacy continues on. And so you don't have to be in your 80s thinking about what your legacy is going to, like, you should just start now. Why not? You are making an impact in people's life no matter what age you are, and you can. So, if you start thinking about that, I feel like it changes the way you go about your day and the way you live your life too, if you're kind of focused on the impact and the good that you can do.
Yes, 100% agree with that. Yeah. Is that, I'm sure you take a lot of that into your own life. Yeah. I mean, being actively involved in Negu and just kind of looking into your own future.
Yeah.
I'm sure it shapes a lot of your decision making.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm obviously I'm really curious as far as how people can get involved,
Mm-hmm.
with the Jessie Rees Foundation, and the beautiful mission that you guys are on.
Yeah.
What are the different ways that people can get connected and get involved?
For sure. So, obviously, I mean, if people are local in Orange County, we always love to have people come see our office, our Joy Factory, just to
Hmm.
kind of possibly get your hands on stuffing a jar and seeing the kind of full circle element of what we do. But there's other ways too. I mean, we have an opportunity for people if you want to sponsor a Joy Jar every single month. We say it costs $25 to stuff and ship a jar to a child fighting cancer. All of our programs are free to families with children fighting cancer. And so obviously we need the support of incredibly generous people to make that possible. So sending a Joy Jar every single month, it's $25. That could be a couple coffees that you don't get out maybe or something
Hmm.
like that. So that's an easy thing. We have events throughout the year that people can attend if they want to be a part of more of an event setting. We have some wine dinners, we have a golf tournament, our gala, like you mentioned.
Hmm.
But then there's other ways too. It's maybe if you have a company that maybe they don't have a cause that they're directly tied to, or maybe childhood cancer is one of them and you just don't even know, is we do have the opportunity, we call it our Mobile Joy Factory, and your company can kind of do a corporate give back event
Hmm.
and physically stuff jars. We'll bring everything to the office and your company can kind of sponsor to give back in that way. If you have kids, kids can do like lemonade stands or collect toys and do toy drives, various different things. We have them on our website to just get involved in any way that they feel like sparks their interest maybe.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different ways to get involved.
Yeah. I think just like what you said, I mean, that just speaks to it. It's not just monetary.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so many different ways that you could get active and get involved. And,
Yeah.
it's just, I think, just the idea of being able to give back just time
Mm-hmm.
and just exactly what your sister did. She thought of other people
Yeah.
really before herself. And that giving mentality is coming back so much, tenfold. I
Yeah.
think if we give first
Yeah.
within mind, whatever we want in life will come even more.
For
But
sure.
giving first mentality is,
Yeah.
I think, the way to go.
Yeah.
It's what I've learned over
Yes.
the years.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people that I've had the opportunity to get to know all kind of feel like their lives have almost been changed when they've decided to give.
Yeah.
That they have, maybe you don't see the impact immediately, or your first couple times it's like, oh man, I'm
Mhm.
giving, like, especially if you're used to, using your budget to the fullest for personal purposes maybe, but just taking the time and kind of trusting. And I mean, there's a lot of ways that people can also do their research on nonprofits to make sure that they feel like their money is going to the right place and going in the right ways. And so if that's something that somebody feels like they need to have, is kind of that, although that information, then there's a lot of ways that you can look that up and kind of to help you feel like you can trust where your money's going to make an impact. Because I think if just stepping into it in a small way,
Yeah.
like, will change your life in a big way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Shaya, I definitely want to be mindful of your time,
Oh,
but
thanks.
is there anything else that, you think maybe we didn't touch on about the foundation with Negu
I
that
feel like we covered a lot.
I feel like we have? I mean, I know that you guys just do so many amazing things.
Thank you.
And, truly, I'm just so honored and just grateful to be here and speak with you.
Yeah.
And help spread, Jessie's message of
Thank you.
love and hope. So thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for the time and the ability to share. I am very proud of what we get to do, and I think it's such a universal motto. Never ever give up. I've
Yes.
personally never fought cancer. Hopefully I never get to that point, but I can use that in my life every single day and try to encourage someone else around us. And I think it's important to get connected to the people around you and see how you can use that in your own life too.
Yeah. I mean, I literally wear this
Yeah.
every day since,
love it. Yeah.
I got my first one.
Yeah. I love it.
It's on every day.
If you ever need any more,
I have a bunch. I give them away.
Yes, perfect. I know it's the perfect thing to give people as a little reminder.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great, just the motto, the mentality of just, life is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Life is hard. And sometimes I know a lot of people like to go through life not worrying about the hard.
Yeah.
And just kind of, I'll worry about it later.
Yeah.
But I'm a big advocate of the hard is going to be there no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's just the mentality of being able to go through it and knowing that you have support.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with that completely.
Yeah. So thank you so much,
Of
Shaya.
course. Thank you, Kris.
Yes, thank you.
So fun.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
That's fun. Securities offered through Kestra Investment Services, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Kestra Private Wealth Services, LLC. An affiliate of Kestra is. Devote Wealth Management and Kestra Investment Services are not affiliated. Kestra is and Kestra is do not provide tax or legal advice. The opinions expressed in this commentary are those of the author and may not necessarily reflect those held by Kestra Investment Services, LLC or Kestra Advisory Services, LLC. This is for general information only and is not intended to provide specific investment advice or recommendations for any individual. It is suggested that you consult your financial professional, attorney, or tax advisor with regard to your individual situation. Comments concerning the past performance are not intended to be forward-looking and should not be viewed as an indication of future results.